So Toph is generally a character that's kind of just been on a bit of a come up recently, mostly due to like Sanji, for example. And like that kind of puts into question like how do you play against this character? I think there's definitely things people do wrong and do right against this character. I kind of just want to highlight some of them. I think Calvin's a good example of, no offense to dude, that's my homie, but what's it not you're doing wrong against Toph stuff. Yeah, I even remember after this match, Calvin definitely mentioned that he was kind of running into Strongs a lot and being generally pretty impatient against Sanji. I think I kind of noticed that in this set when I first watched it. It's kind of interesting too because Danny's such a character that he has to be in close to do his damage that it's kind of easy to get impatient with him sometimes. And you can see just already Calvin taking a bunch of chip damage. Okay, that was good though. Slip past the down strong, fucking donut. I mean, he's definitely doing pretty good right now though. He's kind of taking his time, choosing his battles pretty carefully, all things considered. Yeah, I don't know about all the usage of bullet too. I mean, well, I call the neutral B and Danny a bullet because it just keeps getting reflected, right? I think in general Toph just like you kind of can't really be as liberal with projectiles as you usually are. Oh my god, yeah, the neutral B's aren't really accomplishing anything. He does get the dares, but that's another thing. Edge guarding Toph is weird because she can do that a lot of the time and just kind of get back to the stage when you think she's dead. Kind of just gotta stay pressing her a lot of the time, especially if she comes from lower. It's kind of scary though, so I feel it. That platform's definitely leads in high variance situations. Oh no, that's what he does. Sanji does, right? Conditions you to block, starts throwing some down strongs to mess with you too. That joint plus as hell. And if it hits, you're blocked. You're just kind of standing there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I think Pride definitely mentioned right there. He can like power shield the 4 strongs to get in. I think could definitely be doing that more. I think he's still trying to rely on neutral B to get in a lot of the time, and I don't think that's a good plan against this character, right? And you can kind of see why. That 4 strong kind of just reflects anything in its way, and yeah, Sanji gets a KO. It's like right now she just takes like 1,000 cuts to kill you, but if you do run into her enough times, she will definitely kill you. I can't watch this. I'll be back after it's over. I'm sorry, Calvin. It just happens to go with something I want to talk about. Now it's like, of course, Calvin's a good player, but just sometimes you just get impatient against this character. It's kind of what she's built to make you do. I'm surprised I didn't see her. Up strong. Oh, it's just like these nickel and dimes just kind of stack up to add in dollars, if that makes sense. That was a pretty stupid analogy, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean. I never walked up and blocked. Yeah, that's very important against this character for sure. Just walking up, blocking sometimes. Hey, that's another thing too. Do not be afraid to pressure that platform sometimes. It's a little scary. It's spooky. It's spooky. But you don't want to let her abuse that for sure. Toph shitty out of shield options. For real, bro. That's another thing I kind of mentioned for sure. She doesn't really have much out shield. She maybe jab you, I guess, but like it's pretty bad. Oh man. And it's kind of hard to RPS those strongs too, right? Because they just spawn from so far away. It's kind of weird. I wish so many attacks out of block. Yeah, that's kind of natural. She can't really do much. You just kind of just pressuring her with just long range normals. But I think again, this kind of weird matchup thing, right, with Danny, where he doesn't really have many of those. That's another good thing to point out too, actually. That's kind of her main option coming down. Just oh, that wasn't. Yeah, the rock coming down. It's we know that's her only really good option coming down. It becomes easier to deal with, so probably just keep that in mind if you have trouble fighting against Toph. He went to rooftop. Oh no, he didn't ban rooftop. I mean, I get it. Danny likes rooftop, but just Toph becomes pretty annoying on the stage, right? Because a lot of times Sanji just has more. Not Sanji, but Toph definitely has a bit more range to just kind of bunker under the stage, under the platform up top, right? Because one of Toph's main weaknesses is just like approaches from diagonally above, and that top platform definitely just limits those that you can do essentially. Do you think Roof is fine in this matchup? I don't know. I think Roof is great for Danny for sure, but I don't know. In this matchup, I don't know about it. It's like Danny can probably wins it, but it's just annoying. You can't really hit her through the top platform. You can't tell her characters too, so I don't know about it. I just don't like. I personally just don't like taking Toph here. That's really it. Man. Oh god, the up B coming down, bro. I always get confused by that too, but honestly, you probably shouldn't be getting hit by up B coming down too much. You can just grab it or strong collect if you really want to. It kind of hums into you, which is I always don't expect, despite getting hit by that a lot. Reflecting or grabbing that projectile is really weird. Yeah, it flies and it is pretty weird, honestly. It's definitely possible to get used to though, for sure. You can do it consistently. It's just strange. Man, yeah, it's just so weird trying to RPS. So, ooh.
Upset. The crowd goes wild. He just runs off and duffs him with a grounded character. You were saying how those
I was hype. I didn't like seeing Calvin lose, but I was hyped to see Sanji win. I think I kind of also wanted to show, in contrast, a match where I feel like the player really did well against Sanji, which was Sanji versus Squible. I do remember Squible definitely having a good flow chart against Sanji. I think that's kind of what Squible's very good at as a player, just making these optimal flow charts that just prevent his opponent from doing their game plan, right? You can already see him just being very careful in the approach, not really falling into Toph's clutches with the strongs he's throwing out to try and catch him off guard. Sanji does get anti-air, but doesn't really get too much out of it either. And just like at the same time, April gets just so much more. It's kind of very funny. Yeah, it's just like Squibble is just that's why I like love and hate about this guy as a player, right? He's just so content with just not going in. That's just like you can throw out all these strongs if you want to, but just like I think yeah, a good way to think about it is if just playing it's tough, just make sure you have less fun than usual. You're probably doing fine, right? Because you can't really just go in on her and face roll against her, because that doesn't really work out too well. Neutral not even a problem. Yeah, just attacks down strong. It takes so long to come out, dude. It's kind of be hard to catch the down strong every time, but if you just look out for it, it's very easy to sense it or react to it. Yeah, the thing is, it's just easy to outpace Toph, and when you outpace Toph, you don't really have to do much. You can kind of just chill and just wait for them to fuck up. And like Squible did right here, and just punish him dearly for it. Yeah, Toph is just generally really good at forcing out these, you know, grindier games than usual. But like, I don't know, it's at the same time, it's not the hardest thing ever to get around. You can kind of tell with Squible, I don't think he's really afraid of getting grabbed either, because again, Toph really doesn't get too much off of grabs. Kind of a little bit of damage. That's really it. It's not fun. I don't think it's fun playing against this character optimally, but it's just like it's she can't really do much about it either. Just being careful. It goes a very long way against this character. You just consistently get way more than Toph can damage wise. That just stacks up. I think just in general, just being patient against her really does a lot, and just kind of not really getting caught by these loose options to throwing out, especially the strongs. You really shouldn't be getting hit by too many of those strongs. I say that, I get hit by them all the time, but still. I think Toph really struggles against like these very big disjoints too. April has a bunch of them, like air neutral strong, and air down strong. Just like it's just so far outside of Toph's like effective range without using strongs, at least. And even then, you kind of clank against the strongs or just like hit Toph herself a lot of the time. So it's like, I don't know. It's even better if those disjoints are lights. It's like you kind of have to play Toph's game a little bit, but I don't think the game is that dangerous. If that makes sense. I don't know. He just circle camping in on Hurricane, bro. This is so funny. You can literally hear them boo. It was so funny. It was just like, yeah, it's just he doesn't really have a reason to go in. Timer's running out. He's forcing Sanji to make the approach. Again, risk reward factor is so skewed in Squible's favor. I mean, he did get beat up a little bit, but I don't know. He was still in a good spot to win this. Yeah. It's just so tough if you're a Toph player. This matchup especially, right? And granted, I'm saying this matchup, I know Toph, Toph. April is definitely a broken character, but I think a lot of characters can kind of just play pretty similarly against this character, for sure. Not just, you know, the broken ones. Just love how careful he is around the rock too, right? I mean, you can't reflect it, but it's you don't want to just hold block against it a lot of the time, because it just lets Toph get in on you. But granted, you can't really do much when she gets in on you, but still, just maneuvering around it's pretty good. Also, the thing about the up strong, of course, the charging up strong is that, of course, Flint knows this because he played the character. But the hitbox on Toph herself is way less threatening than the Clay Warrior itself. So a lot of times you can kind of just like go in on it, really not have to worry too much about it, honestly. If you're a character that can just do a lot of damage or just KO in one touch, it's just like super skewed in your favor too. It's so hard if you're just Toph, dude. You're one of those characters that just like you gotta just work so hard to get your wins. And of course, we know that she's gonna get better next patch, but I can't really see her being insanely better. So I think a lot of this, you know, talk about what Toph can and can't do should probably still carry over next patch, I feel like. Yeah, that was a set. I think it was very interesting to get those two sort of different matches on Sanji as Toph, because it kind of just shows two very like direct opposite situations.